Alright, as we continue on with this, one thing I didn't realize as I looked through my notes, they actually went and spoke with the blacksmith last time, but I didn't quite recognize that in my notes. In this time I see that Gil continued to help the blacksmith throughout the night. This was one of the things that Gil and I kind of worked on. He wanted his character to kind of tinker in blacksmithery, especially because of his background of being raised by dwarves, and him being he always said he was like a wannabe bard, and tried to play off to the rest of the players that he was a bard, but I think he was actually had a forged domain cleric as part of it, but he was trying to multi-class into lots of different things. So this led into fun because I always enjoy having players make things, and I kind of let that break the game a lot. Doesn't end up breaking too much, but it's... So it was a way to key into that Gil knew stuff about blacksmithery, and ended up started being more of his character later. During that night, Thea had a vision about Mayanna, about the waterfall, about the statue, and about kind of an update for her that Delcy and the goblins were doing good. Something about the statue. I was trying to kind of key more into that. There's something to that, and it would hopefully lead her to search out knowledge. And in this vision, it also helped Thea remember the difference between Delcy's shell and the turtle shell huts that she saw before, and how they were a little bit different. Because the player, Thea's player, was kind of worrying about that, of thinking that Delcy was going to get killed and turned into a hut or something like that. I don't quite know, but I just trying to alleviate some stress that she was having there. One of the things I had also set up in the Sunken Pony was in the corner of the room there'd be a figure in a cloak that you couldn't really see. This was one of the things I found on Reddit on the r/d20 or d100, and would actually be a broom in a cloak. And it would be kind of a game that Oreg would do, and he'd kind of mark the chalkboard of foods and stuff that keep a tally of people that fell for it. So that way the locals, then those that kind of knew about it, could see how well it was going. I really like Gil's player. He's a good dungeon master, he's a good player. He's a little too smart for his own good sometimes with some of this stuff. But had him do perception checks and all this, and he succeeded in finding out relatively early that it was a broom, but went along with it to make it seem like he didn't. So it was kind of fun there, where instead of Gil getting tricked, he'd trick Oreg into thinking that he was tricked, by kind of getting pretend drunk and speaking with this thing. It kind of came up into a running gag between me and him in our games of this broom in a cloak, because he went on to once he fell asleep, once the tavern was kind of closed down, and that's where Gil would sleep, is in that place with the broom. So in the little corner, the little stall, or I can't think of the word, that you'd have at a restaurant or something like that. It's a little table that it was at. Gil would actually take some of his crossbow bolts and tinker with it to make it look like the man in the corner, instead of being like down and covered by his cloak, would be positioned in a way that would look like he fell asleep reading a book. So like a little book in his hand and all that, and propping it up just like that. So made it so that way the next morning it caught Oreg by surprise and he had to do a double take. So a little fun there, and that was kind of Gil's personality of kind of causing chaos and making the world a little bit more interesting. Let's see. In the morning, Thea took a quest about a missing cat. Kind of same quest I took from Naruto, if anyone remembers first things about that. So same kind of cat, same ribbon on the ear. I had it be that it was with the ribbon, it was connected with the sovereign glue, so it wouldn't be able to be removed unless it got cut off and took part of the ear with it. So okay, I don't think they actually took that quest there. I'll find out later in the notes. After a couple hours, Gil would wake up and got breakfast, followed by Finn and Xantra. Xantra, we kind of played in that it was a dragonborn and would eat an entire boar leg. Okay, Thea returned to talk to the party. Had him follow her to her room, kind of revealing that she was the princess and was adopted and wears the ring to change her hair color and her identity, seeing as when she came down this morning she had the ring off, so thus was her normal color hair and not the royalty. And even though Gil rolled high in his perception to figure out that they were the same person, once again he played off that he didn't. So kind of caused her to do that a little early for my taste, but turned out all right. They took a few more other quests. Quest about killing giant rats in a basement. The bakery needing taste testers. The rat quest turned out to be something more like mushrooms that were making people hallucinate what they'd fear. So as the party went to grab the cat, with Thea using speak with animals and finding that the cat didn't like that house, because it was the same kind of thing as Naruto. It's the owner of the cat's really suffocating it with attention, and not someone that you'd want as an owner or anything like that. And Gil used some of his ability to change the color of the ribbon and texture of it in a way to have it to when it would lay flat on the ear, it would look like white fur. So it would be a white colored fur on that part of the ear, thus being enough of a change to separate that. And they take the cat to the lady that owned it in the fancy tavern in town, the Starlit Stallion. Kind of a playoff on the Sunken Pony, or the Sunken Pony being lowbrow, while the starlit stallion being the highbrow. And trying to get the lady to give up on the quest by showing the cat that actually is her cat to her, saying, "Here's your cat," and having her figure or think that it's not her cat due to the play with the change of the ribbon. They gave the cat the name Thor, and kind of took the cat to Thea's room. I think she was hoping to kind of tame the cat, but seeing as I already had it after the cat from Naruto that escaped several times and is kind of smart, it pretty much got out of her room and is still around in that town every once in a while. I'll show it up and have it steal food, have it do whatever it wants. Yeah, that's when, and then later after that is when they found that the rat was the mushroom. Finn and Thea got poisoned and hallucinated. I don't think I ever came up with what Finn saw as his fear. Why, Thea, we had Ashera having killed Finn or something like that. While Gil and Zentra succeeded on their saves and weren't poisoned by it. Gil wrapped up the mushroom in a cloak and had collected the mushroom. I think he was going to do something with it later, but I don't know if we actually had that happen, seeing as the campaign kind of fell apart. But he got a mushroom that showed people their fears if they failed their save, so it was a nice chance to let them do a few small quests and make a little bit of money. Not any battle at that time or anything, which I needed to work on a little bit. I think I'm doing better, but that's what all that happened that time.